Before we go anywhere, Edward, I want to be sure we're not confusing people, because a lot of what's being said online just doesn't add up. That's exactly why I wanted to ask you. Everyone keeps saying other countries are paying tariffs. Is that even possible? No, and that's the simplest answer. A tariff can only be paid inside the country that sets it. So if a country announces a tariff, it's not charging the world, charging itself. More specifically, it's charging its own importers. Hold on, walk me through that slowly. If country A brings goods into country A, country 1 decides whether to tax that import. That tax is paid by a business inside money. So the foreign country doesn't send money? There's no invoice sent overseas. There's no payment made by the exporter's government. Rage? Then why do people say we're making them pay? B, because it sounds strong. But sound and truth aren't the same thing. So who actually pays in real life? Usually all three over time. The consumer through higher prices, the business through lower profits, the worker through lost jobs or frozen wages. So it lands at home. Always lands at home. Let me test this with an example. Say America puts tariffs on goods from Greenland. Just pay the tariff, not Greenland, not Europe, not anyone else. And if America sells goods to Greenland, then America pays nothing extra, unless Greenland chooses to set its own tariffs. So tariffs don't travel across borders. They don't. They stop at the border of the country that created them. All right, here's the part that confuses people. What about retaliatory tariffs? Even those follow the same rule. If country B retaliates, country B is taxing its own imports from country A. So retaliation still means self-taxing. Yes, it's pressure, not punishment. Governments use tariffs at all because they're visible, they look decisive, and the pain doesn't hit all at once. So politically useful, economically risky. That's a fair way to put it. Why don't smaller countries shout back louder? Because shouting isn't power, adaptation is. They reroute trade, they wait, they let the cost build quietly. And how ways go? So the damage shows up later, always later. That's why it's misunderstood. And you correct me if I'm wrong. When people say other countries are paying America's tariffs, that's false. False. What's really happening is America is choosing who inside America carries the burden. That's right, Mill. That changes how it sounds. Truth often does. So the real question isn't who we're punishing. So the real question isn't who we're punishing, but who we're willing to make uncomfortable at home. Man, that's a much quieter sentence. Quiet sentences usually matter more. Before we go on, Edward, I can feel the heat rising in this conversation. That's all right. Fire can warm, or it can burn. We'll keep it warm. And listen, it's because this is where people get angry. Why is Donald Trump charging his own people and calling it strength? That's the right question. And it deserves a calm answer, not a shouted one. But because on the surface, it looks like punishment dressed up as pride. Justifies his leverage. What actually happens is burden shifting. Explain that, because people hear leverage and stop thinking. Leaders say, I'm willing to hurt my own economy to force negotiations. It's not about free money. It's about showing tolerance. It's about showing tolerance for pain. But it's not his pain, is it? No, and that's where the anger comes from. Parlin? So how does he sell it to the public? Prices don't rise instantly. Layoffs come later. Supply chains shift quietly. The cost arrives after the roll. So the justification is timing. And language. Say national strength, not higher grocery bills. Say standing up, not paying more. That's manipulation. It's framing. All politics frames pain as purpose. Here's where I feel the fire, Aries. People cheering for something that hits their own pocket. I know, I'm in the fire with you, but I won't let it burn our words. They can answer that. Then answer me this. Does he know he's charging his own people? Yes. Anyone who understands tariffs knows. The question isn't knowledge. It's who carries the cost. So who is he choosing to carry it? Consumers first, workers later, small businesses quietly. The pain flows down, and the justification remains America first. Yes, but America is not a single body. It's millions of different shoulders. So when supporters say other countries will pay eventually with payment, other countries may adjust, they may concede, but the tariff bill is already paid at home. That's the part people refuse to hear because it breaks the story. Find this thing. Is there any case where this works? Short term, when a country is willing to absorb pain briefly for a clear goal, but long-term tariffs almost always weaken the one who sets them. So it's a gamble with other people's money. That's one way to say it. This is where people accuse you of being unpatriotic for saying this. Truth isn't disloyalty. Silence is. So if you had to say it in one sentence, that's one way to say it. This is where people accuse you of being unpatriotic for saying this. So if you had to say it in one sentence, tariffs are sold as strength but paid for as sacrifice, and the receipt never goes overseas. That lands heavy. Heavy truths should be handled gently. I feel calmer, but not less serious. That's the goal. Fire for light, not destruction. Then this second part matters. I read. Yes, because understanding is how people stop being used. I feel calmer, but not less serious. That's the goal. Fire for light, not destruction. Then this second part matters. I read. Yes, because understanding is how people stop being used.